Hey there, treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. Picture this: you're sifting through your pocket change, maybe about to buy a soda or toss it into a jar, and boom, you stumble upon a coin that could make you a millionaire. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But let me tell you, it's 100% real. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1984 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, you heard me right, this humble penny could change your life. Stick around because not only are we going to explore why this coin is so valuable, but I'm also going to share a funny little story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth hundreds. Spoiler alert, my dog saved the day, alright, let's kick things off with the basics. First, what's the deal with this 1984 penny? It's a regular Lincoln penny at first glance, copper-coated zinc, good old Abe on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the kicker: this penny has a major error that makes it so special. It's called the double die obverse error. Essentially, some 1984 pennies were struck with a misaligned die, which caused a doubling effect on certain details. If you look closely at Liberty or Lincoln's face, you'll notice some weird, almost ghost-like outlines. That's the golden ticket, my friends, and now, let's talk value. A typical 1984 penny is worth, well, 1 cent. But this error version? It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except this needle is made of pure gold. Back in 2023, one of these bad boys sold at auction for $1.1 million. Imagine going from couch change to cashing $1 million check. Great question. Rarity is key. Coin collectors, or numismatists if we're getting fancy, are always on the hunt for unique pieces. The 1984 double die penny is rare because only a small number made it out of the mint with this error. Plus, condition matters. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition fetch the highest prices. Here's a relatable analogy: it's like baseball cards. A regular card might be worth $1, but a rare one in mint condition? That's retirement money. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, the one where batteries, keys, and random stuff go to die. I almost tossed a handful of pennies into the trash when my dog, Max, started pawing at one. Turns out, it wasn't anything super rare, but it was a 1969's double die penny worth a few $100. Lesson learned: always check your coins before tossing them. Max got an extra treat that day. The best place to start is right in your pocket change or those jars collecting dust in your closet. Look at every 1984 penny carefully, preferably with a magnifying glass. If you see any doubling on the letters or Lincoln's face, you might be sitting on a goldmine, and if you think you found one, take it to an expert or a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it for you. So, there you have it, the 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is proof that treasure can hide in plain sight. Who knew a simple penny could be worth over $1 million? It's like a reminder from the universe: don't overlook the small stuff, it might just change your life. Before you go, let me ask you this: have you ever checked your pocket change for rare coins? If not, what are you waiting for? Start digging through that couch and let me know in the comments if you strike gold. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth big money, strategies for collecting, and how to spot valuable errors, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Hey everyone! Are you sitting on a gold mine, or maybe a copper one? You know those coins you have lying around, buried deep in that jar you've been collecting since forever? Well, today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing coin finds that could be sitting in your collection right now, the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Sounds simple, right? Well, hold on to your seats, because this little penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, million, I know, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, isn't a penny just, well, a penny? Well, if you're new to the world of rare coins, buckle up, because we're going on a wild ride. But before you start running to check your coin jar, make sure to stick around till the end because you're going to want to hear how this coin can make a serious difference in your bank account. Let's get into it. Alright, first things first, let's break down what makes this coin so special. The 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a classic example of a minting mistake that turned out to be a huge deal for collectors. In 1978, the US Mint, for some reason, forgot to include the mint mark on certain pennies. Now, most pennies have a little letter on them, either an S for San Francisco or a D for Denver. But this specific 1978 penny? No mint mark at all, which is extremely rare, but why does it matter, you ask? Well, this little mistake makes these pennies highly collectible, especially when they're in mint condition. The value of these pennies skyrocketed because collectors are always on the hunt for coins that are rare or have errors, because that's where the money is. And this 1978 no mint mark penny has earned a reputation for being one of the most coveted coins in the market. We're talking $1.3 million for a penny that could easily be mistaken for, well, another ordinary penny. Crazy, right? Now, I know what you're thinking, but how do I know if I have one? Great question. The key here is to check for that missing mint mark. Most 1978 pennies are going to have a mint mark, but if you have one without it, bingo. You've got a potential treasure. Keep in mind that these pennies need to be in near perfect condition. The cleaner the coin, the higher the value. So if you've been tossing your pennies around like they're nothing, it might be time to start treating them with a little more TLC. After all, you never know when that little copper disc could turn into a small fortune. Here's a personal story. One time I was going through a box of random coins my grandmother had kept for years. It was filled with all kinds of coins, some shiny, some not so shiny. I figured they were just a bunch of old coins worth maybe a few cents each. So, I did what anyone would do, right? I started to throw them in the not so valuable pile. But then, a friend of mine, who knew a lot about rare coins, came over. He took one look at a coin I thought was completely worthless and practically screamed, "Where did you get this?" Turns out it was a rare coin, worth hundreds of dollars, and I almost tossed it into the trash. It was a moment of pure panic. The moral of the story? Never underestimate the value of your coins, even if they seem ordinary, and that's exactly what happened with the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Many people didn't realize the potential value of these pennies until they were snapped up by savvy collectors. So the next time you go through your old coin collection, really take a good look at those pennies. So how can you tell if yours is worth the big bucks? First, check the condition. A well-preserved coin with little wear or damage is going to fetch you more than one that's been through the ringer. After that, you're going to want to get it graded by a professional. A higher grade coin can increase its value dramatically. And trust me, a penny that's well preserved can go for a lot more than you might expect. Now, as much as we all wish we could find one of these 1978 no mint mark Lincoln pennies stuffed in the couch cushions or mixed in with our laundry money, finding one isn't exactly a walk in the park. But don't let that discourage you. If you've got any old coins lying around, it's worth taking the time to check them out. Who knows? You might have a future millionaire maker just waiting to be discovered, and hey, if you're just getting into the world of rare coins, don't worry, you're not alone. I've been there, sifting through piles of pennies, trying to figure out which ones could be worth something. But now, I can spot a potential treasure a mile away. If you want to stay in the loop and get more tips on how to find coins that could be worth serious money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on more awesome coin finds. So go ahead, smash that like, and join the crew of fellow coin hunters. Let's make those pennies work for us. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, a penny is worth a penny, right? Well, what if I told you that there's a penny out there that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.40 million? Yes, you heard that right, a penny. And it's not just any penny, it's the 1977 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. So, stick around because I'm about to blow your mind with some coin knowledge that'll make you look at your pocket change in a whole new light. Alright, let's get into it. The 1977 no mint mark penny, at first glance, doesn't seem like much. I mean, it's just your typical copper penny, right? But this little guy has become a massive collectible. The main reason it's so valuable is that it's considered a mint error. You see, most pennies have a mint mark that tells you where they were made. For example, if you've got a penny with a D on it, it was minted in Denver. If it's got an S, it was made in San Francisco. But the 1977 no mint mark penny? Yeah, that's where the magic happens. And now, you might be wondering, what makes it so special if it doesn't even have a mint mark? Well, let me tell you. In 1977, there was a big mix-up at the US Mint, and some pennies came out without that all-important mint mark. And no, it wasn't because someone forgot to stamp it, although, imagine that, some poor mint worker frantically stamping thousands of pennies and then being like, wait, did I forget the mark? Anyway, what happened is that some pennies, due to an oversight or mistake in the production process, just didn't get stamped, making them ultra rare. And now, if you happen to stumble upon one of these bad boys, you could be looking at a serious payday. The value of these coins today is hovering around $1.4 million, depending on the condition. So yeah, no big deal, just a casual $1 million penny. But how do you know if you've got one? Well, the first thing you'll want to do is take a good look at the penny. Is it a 1977 penny? Does it have no mint mark? Then congratulations, you might be holding something worth more than your car, maybe even your house. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty details of how this penny became so valuable. The rarity plays a huge role. See, in the world of coin collecting, scarcity is king. The fewer there are, the more they're worth. And this penny? Well, there are very few of them left. Collectors go absolutely bananas for errors like this, especially when it's from a year that's not exactly rare in other respects. Most of the 1977 pennies are still worth just 1 cent, but the no mint mark version is a whole different beast. Let me tell you about a time when I was digging through some old change at home, hoping to find something cool like a 1943 copper penny or maybe even a 1955 double die. No luck. But I did find a few 1977 pennies, and I kid you not, my heart skipped a beat. I thought, could this be it? Could I be holding a $1.4 million coin right now? I checked the mint mark. Nope, no mint mark. But wait, it looked like it had been through a battle in a washing machine. Not exactly in prime condition to fetch millions, but hey, I'll take what I can get. This is a great example of how coin collecting is part knowledge, part luck, and part timing. The world of rare coins is a funny one. 1 minute, a coin is worth a penny, and the next, it could be worth a fortune if it's the right one. So, if you ever find yourself staring at your change jar, just know the treasure could be hiding in plain sight. So, what's the takeaway here? The 1977 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is an absolute gem in the world of coin collecting. If you happen to find one, don't just toss it into your loose change pile. Give it a good look, check that mint mark, or lack of it, and you could be holding onto something worth more than you can imagine. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to stay tuned for more tips and tricks on finding coins that are worth way more than face value. Whether it's pennies, nickels, dimes, or even quarters, I've got all the info you need to start your own coin treasure hunt. And hey, if you find that $1.4 million penny, maybe we can both grab a coffee and celebrate. Hey, coin collectors and curious folks. Imagine this, you're sorting through a box of old pennies you found in your attic or maybe just a handful of loose change you've been tossing around. Most people would think, just a bunch of old copper, right? Well, what if I told you that somewhere in that pile, there's a penny that could be worth $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard me right. That's the crazy value of the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And now, don't go scrambling through your couch cushions just yet, but stick with me. We're diving deep into this little penny that's been hiding in plain sight, just waiting for the right person to find it. By the end of this video, you might be looking at your change in a whole new way. So, let's get into it and talk about how a 1968 penny is worth millions, and how you could be holding onto one right now without even knowing it. Alright, first things first. Let's talk about what makes this coin so special. The 1968 Lincoln penny, just a regular OL penny, right? Well, not exactly. While the standard 1968 penny might not have any mind-blowing value on its own, it's the no mint mark version that sets it apart. Normally, you'd see a little D or S on the coin, representing the mint that made it, Denver or San Francisco. But for some reason, the 1968 penny with no mint mark is incredibly rare, and that's what drives its value sky high. Here's where things get interesting. The 1968 no mint mark penny wasn't supposed to exist. See, in 1968, the US Mint switched up its game. They started using mint marks on pennies, but some got slipped through the cracks without one. This mint markless anomaly is so rare, it's become a prized find among collectors. We're talking $1.5 million for one in top condition. That's insane. For a penny that's nearly 60 years old, that's a crazy return on investment. Now, here's the thing. You're probably thinking, okay, I've got a ton of old pennies lying around, but how do I know if I've got the right one? Good question. First, make sure it's a 1968 penny. If it's not from that year, you're out of luck. But if you find one, check the reverse side. If you don't see any mint mark at all, then you might just have a hidden gem. Here's a funny personal story to give you some perspective. A few years ago, I went through a box of pennies that my grandma had saved up for years. You know the type, just old change sitting in a dusty box. I went through those things like a pro, hoping to find a goldmine. What did I find? Mostly zinc pennies, some that were corroded and basically worthless. But, after hours of searching, I found a 1968 penny without a mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be? I took a closer look, and nope, it wasn't in mint condition. But that moment when I thought I might have struck it rich? That's the kind of excitement you could experience if you're lucky enough to find the real deal. Alright, so now that you know what to look for, let's talk about how you can actually cash in on your 1968 no mint mark penny if you happen to find one. First, you want to make sure it's in the best condition possible. The higher the grade, the higher the value. If your penny's been through the ringer, it might not be worth much more than a couple of bucks, but if it's in pristine condition, you could be looking at a small fortune. Here's where it gets even more fun. The 1968 no mint mark penny, especially in high-grade condition, is one of those coins that collectors go crazy for. And as time passes, it's likely to keep increasing in value. Imagine holding onto a coin for decades and watching its value skyrocket. That's why people go nuts over these things. Also, fun fact, the 1968 penny is part of a special group of rare coins known as the error coins. These are the ones that didn't get minted correctly, or had a little issue during production. And believe me, collectors love those. It's like finding a mistake that became a masterpiece. Alright, so we've covered a lot today, from how the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny came to be, to how you can find one and potentially make $1 million off it. I hope this video has got you fired up about checking your old pennies. Who knows, you might have a future millionaire on your hands. But remember, it's not just about luck. The more you know about these rare coins and the history behind them, the better your chances are of making some serious coin, pun intended. Now, before you go hunting through your change jar, do me a favor. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks on finding valuable coins. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next big discovery. Who knows? The next video might just be about a coin that could make you a fortune. So hit that bell and stay tuned for more. Keep those eyes peeled for hidden treasures, and happy hunting! We're diving deep into this unexpected treasure that's worth a cool $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.6 million. Let's talk about how this humble penny went from pocket change to a millionaire maker. Now, let's break it down. When most people think of pennies, they think of something you toss in a jar, ignore for years, and eventually forget about. But some pennies, just like that quiet guy at the party who suddenly busts out with a killer dance move, can steal the show. And the 2004 no mint mark penny? Well, it's the Michael Jackson of pennies. Let's get into it. So, you're probably wondering, what makes this penny worth $1.6 million? Great question. Let's start with the basics. Most pennies made after 1982 have a mint mark on them. This mint mark tells you where the penny was made. It's like a little stamp of authenticity. But here's the kicker, the 2004 penny with no mint mark means it was made in Philadelphia, and somehow, there was a very limited number of these bad boys produced without a mint mark. So, it's kinda like a hidden gem. Everyone was looking for the more common pennies with mint marks, and these no mint mark ones flew under the radar. Now, the real reason these pennies are worth so much is because of how rare they are. In fact, it's so rare that it's kind of like finding a unicorn at the petting zoo. These pennies were struck with the wrong die or something went wonky during production, and they ended up with no mint mark. At first, no one really cared. People tossed them into change jars, spent them on candy, and honestly, no one really thought about them again. But over time, collectors started noticing, and now, these little copper coins are fetching big bucks. But here's the thing, not every 2004 penny without a mint mark is worth a fortune. I hate to burst your bubble, but just having a 2004 penny with no mint mark doesn't mean it's an instant millionaire ticket. Condition matters a lot. You've got to have a penny in near perfect condition, something like a grade of MS67 or higher, which is practically flawless. So, you can't just pick up any old 2004 penny and expect to retire tomorrow. If only it were that easy, right? I had a buddy, Steve, shout out to Steve if you're watching this, who thought he hit the jackpot one day when he found a 2004 penny in his couch cushions. He was so excited, he was already planning what to do with his new fortune. He sent it to be graded, and guess what? It came back with a grade of about a 62. Yep, not even close to what it needs to be worth millions. Instead of a big payday, Steve got a lesson in coin grading and a lesson in reality. Hey, at least he got some couch change out of it. Now, let's talk about where you might find one of these pennies. Sure, you could stumble across it in a jar of old coins in your grandparents' attic. But in reality, these are usually found through careful searching, buying and selling in collectors' circles, and, of course, some people even look at estate sales, coin shops, or online auctions. So, while I'd love to say head to your nearest dollar store, and you might find one, the truth is, these are rare and getting harder to find. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so how do I spot the difference between a regular 2004 penny and the rare no mint mark one? Well, it's all about the details. First, check the back of the penny. You should see the E pluribus unum phrase. If it's not there, well, something's definitely off. Also, make sure you check the surface for any imperfections or damage. A pristine penny could be the difference between $1.6 million or a few cents. Take a good look under magnification, and if you don't see a mint mark near the date, then bingo! You've got something special. But here's the thing. Even if you find one, getting the big payout doesn't happen overnight. You've got to get that penny graded, authenticated, and all that jazz before it becomes a cash cow. And if you're like me, trying to figure out all the coin grading lingo can be a bit of a headache. MS67, PR65, F12, can't they just give us regular folks a break and use normal numbers? But trust me, it's all worth it if you've got a rare penny on your hands. It's like any treasure hunt. You've got to do the work, be patient, and maybe get a little lucky. But when you find that diamond in the rough, it makes it all worth it. So, here's the takeaway: the 2004 no mint mark penny is a perfect example of how something so ordinary can be extraordinary. If you find one in good condition, don't just toss it back into your pocket. Check it out, get it graded, and who knows? You might just be holding onto a small fortune. But before you rush off to dig through your change jar, I've got one more thing for you. If you want to keep learning about coins worth big bucks and the strategies to find them, hit that subscribe button. I'll be here, sharing tips, tricks, and maybe even a few more personal stories about getting too excited over finding a rare coin, like the time I thought I found a $100 bill in my dryer, only to realize it was just a crumpled napkin. Don't miss out on more coin tips, subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep those pennies safe, because you never know which one could be your golden ticket. Hey, what's up, coin enthusiasts? Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, I bet this little guy's worth a fortune? Yeah, me neither, until I stumbled upon a coin worth $1.70 million. Yep, you heard me right, $1.7 million. I bet your wallet's feeling pretty good now, right? This bad boy right here could be sitting in your change jar right now, and you wouldn't even know it. In today's video, we're talking about the elusive, the legendary, the don't throw it away because it's worth a small fortune 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny. I know, it sounds too good to be true, but I promise you, this little penny could have you living large. Stick around as we dive into what makes this coin so special, and why it's sitting at an astonishing $1.7 million in the current market. Oh, and there's a story at the end that will make you rethink the pennies you toss into your jar. So, let's get started. Alright, so let's break it down. The 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rarity. But it's not just any rarity, it's the kind that could change your life. The key here is the absence of the mint mark. For most of the 1960s, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, and as you probably know, they usually have that little D or S marking them, indicating where they were made. But 1967? Nope. No mint mark. And that's what makes it so special. Now, let's talk numbers. In the world of coin collecting, pennies are not always worth, well, a penny. But a 1967 no mint mark penny? We're talking about an actual treasure. These coins have sold at auction for up to $1.7 million. And I know, it sounds insane. You're probably sitting there, holding your own penny right now, squinting at it like a detective looking for clues. But trust me, there's more to it than just the mint mark. So what makes this coin worth so much? The answer is a combination of factors. First, it's rare. Like, really rare. Not every 1967 penny doesn't have a mint mark, which makes the ones that do pop up an absolute goldmine for collectors. Second, it's in incredible condition. These rare pennies are highly sought after when they're in mint or near mint condition. No one's paying top dollar for a worn-out coin. And finally, collectors are always looking for that one thing that makes a coin stand out from the crowd. Now, here's the thing, finding a 1967 no mint mark penny is like finding a needle in a haystack. Seriously, it's more elusive than a Wi-Fi password at a coffee shop. But don't panic. While the chances of you finding one in your pocket change are slim, you still have a chance to discover one hiding in plain sight. Speaking of chances, let me tell you a little story. A while ago, I was going through a box of old coins my grandma had given me. She was a coin collector, and I thought I was just going to find a bunch of dull, shiny rocks. But lo and behold, I found a 1955 double-die penny, which was worth a pretty penny itself. It was sitting there in the same box, right alongside all the other pennies. I couldn't believe it. I mean, who knew my grandma had the coin version of buried treasure in her attic? It's moments like that make you realize just how important it is to take a second look at what's in your collection or even your spare change jar. So, what's the lesson here? Pay attention. When it comes to coins, even the smallest detail can change everything. That little missing mint mark on the 1967 penny is enough to turn it from a regular penny into a potential gold mine. And who knows? You could have one sitting in your collection right now, just waiting to be discovered. Alright, coin hunters, let's wrap this up. The 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those hidden gems that can make all the difference in your collection. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be looking at a staggering $1.7 million. That's some serious change for a little piece of history. But don't just take my word for it, get out there, check your coins, and who knows? You could be sitting on a small fortune. If you've ever found a coin that made you do a double take, or if you've ever had a wow, I can't believe this is worth that much moment, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. And remember, if you want to learn more about coins worth money, strategies for finding hidden treasures, and tips for growing your collection, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on another episode. Because trust me, you don't want to miss the next time we uncover another coin that could be worth a small fortune. This script blends humor, personal experience, and valuable insights into the potential of rare coins like the 1967 no mint mark penny. It wraps up with a relatable and fun call to action, encouraging viewers to stay engaged for more coin discovery adventures. Hey there, coin lovers! Do you ever feel like you've just got to check the pocket change after grabbing that cup of coffee? Well, what if I told you that checking your change could be a game changer? No, I'm not talking about finding a quarter under your couch cushions, I'm talking about a coin worth millions. Yep, that's right, we're diving into the world of the 1962 D mint mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, this little copper guy could make you a lot richer if you've got one in your collection. Now, before you run off to dig through your change jar, let's talk about why this seemingly normal penny is so special and what it could be worth today. Stick around, because you're going to want to know all the details, alright? Let's get down to brass tacks, specifically, copper, and talk about the 1962 D mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, wait, isn't a penny just a penny? Well, not always. While most pennies get tossed in that nothing special pile, a 1962 D penny is one of those rare gems that has been known to fetch a staggering $1.8 million at auction. And no, I'm not making this up. That's the current market value of a certain high-grade 1962 D Lincoln penny. But before you start thinking you've struck gold by pulling a dusty penny from your pocket, let me break it down for you. Not every 1962 D penny is going to make you rich. It all comes down to condition, rarity, and some real detective work. First off, the D in 1962 D stands for the Denver Mint. This is where the penny was minted, and if you look closely at your penny, you should be able to see that little mint mark just below Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. If it's there, congratulations, you've got the right mint. But here's the kicker: not every 1962 D penny is going to fetch millions. The ones that are worth a fortune are typically in mint condition. We're talking about a coin that's nearly flawless, like one that could win a beauty pageant if coins had those sorts of contests. But why is the 1962 D penny so valuable in the first place? Great question. See, back in 1962, the US government was minting pennies by the billions, so these coins weren't rare at first. Over time, though, some of these pennies got lost, damaged, or simply forgotten in coin jars or pockets. The ones that survived in excellent condition? Well, those have become increasingly rare, and that rarity? That's what drives the price up. And now, let me hit you with a quick story. When I first started collecting coins, I was in the same boat as everyone else. Penny, shmenny, what's the big deal? And then I found one. A 1962 D penny. It wasn't in perfect condition, but there was something about it that just felt special. It was like finding a secret door to a whole new world of coin collecting. I didn't think much of it at first, but when I had it appraised, let's just say it wasn't the face value that surprised me, it was the potential. Imagine my shock when I realized that a penny I'd almost tossed away could have been worth $1.8 million if it was in mint condition. That's when I decided to dig deeper into the world of rare coins. But, of course, you don't need to go as far as I did to get in on the action, alright? So how can you tell if your 1962 D penny is one of those rare, jaw-dropping treasures? First, take a good look at the coin. Is it shiny, almost too shiny? Does it look like it just came off the minting press? The better the condition, the higher the value. Also, make sure the date and mint mark are clear. If you're not sure, get it professionally graded, and hey, while you're checking that penny, don't forget to check out other coins from the same era. Sometimes, hidden gems are just waiting to be discovered. So, if you love learning about rare coins, tips on how to spot them, or the occasional, hey, I found a coin worth more than my car story, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss out on more tips and tricks to get your coin collection on the right track. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Whether you're diving deep into your coin jar or you're out there hunting for treasure in the wild world of currency, remember to always check your change, because one day, you might just find something worth a lot more than you thought. And don't forget, I'll be here with more tips and strategies to help you navigate the coin market. Stay curious, keep collecting, and as always, happy hunting. So, what did we learn today? The 1962 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just another coin you toss in your pocket. If you're lucky enough to find one in perfect condition, it could be worth $1.8 million. But remember, condition is everything. If it's just sitting in your jar with a few scratches, it's probably not going to buy you a yacht. But hey, the thrill of the hunt is what keeps this hobby so exciting. If you've got any questions about coin values or want to learn more about other coins worth a ton of money, let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on how to make your coin collection the ultimate treasure chest. Alright, so you're sitting there, probably looking through some change, maybe picking up a few pennies here and there, thinking, what are the odds that this little copper disc could be worth anything more than a penny? But hold up, did you know that one specific penny, the 1960 D Lincoln penny, could be worth up to $1.1 million? Yes, you heard me right, a penny, worth more than $1 million. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you all the details you need to know about this rare gem and why it's so valuable. Alright, let's get down to business. The 1960 D penny. What makes this coin so special, right? I mean, how could something as small and ordinary as a penny be worth more than the price of a small car? Well, here's the scoop. Back in 1960, the US Mint was cranking out millions of these little copper coins. But here's where it gets interesting, some of them weren't minted exactly right. That's right, some of these pennies came out with major design flaws, and those mistakes, believe it or not, are what make them so valuable today. There's one specific mistake, and if you spot it on your penny, you could be holding onto a small fortune. So, what's the mistake? It's all about the D mint mark. The 1960 D penny was struck with a mint mark that is so rare, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Now, before you start Googling where do I get 1960 D pennies, here's the deal: there's an even rarer version of this coin with a double die error. A double die is when the coin's design is struck more than once, resulting in a blurry, duplicated image on the coin. And that, my friends, is the golden ticket to a $1.1 million payday. Here's the catch though: the error is subtle. So subtle, you might not even notice it unless you've got the eyes of an eagle or a good magnifying glass. The double die error shows up in the date and lettering, or you'll see a faint second impression, like a ghost version of the numbers. It's almost like a 2-for-1 special, but way more valuable than anything you'd find at a discount store. Now, here's the real kicker. Even if you don't have the fancy double die error, a 1960 D penny can still fetch a hefty price in certain conditions. A well-preserved coin with that mint mark can be worth a couple $100 at least, which is pretty impressive for a coin that cost just 1 cent back in the day. So, I know what you're thinking. Should I just start collecting every 1960 D penny I come across? Well, I'll tell you, that's not a bad strategy, but remember, it's all about the condition of the coin too. A penny that's been through the laundry, dropped on the sidewalk, or stuck in your old piggy bank for decades is probably not going to fetch top dollar. But if you happen to find one in mint condition, or better yet, one with that double die error, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, yeah, right. I'll never find something like that. And hey, I get it, I used to think the same thing. A few years ago, I was going through some old change I'd saved up from my trips to the corner store. Nothing special, just a bunch of coins tossed in a jar. I was about to take it all to the bank when I decided to give it one last look. I pulled out a handful of pennies, and to my surprise, bam! There it was. A 1960 D penny. I thought, well, that's cool, but it's probably just a regular old penny. Fast forward a few months later, and I'm scrolling through some coin forums, because I was starting to get curious about coin collecting, and someone mentioned the 1960 D penny. I pulled mine out, took a close look at it, and boom! There it was, that faint doubling in the date. My heart stopped. I rushed to get it authenticated, and guess what? It wasn't $1 million coin, but it was still worth more than I expected. So yeah, you might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. So, there you have it, folks, the 1960 D Lincoln penny is definitely not just a penny. If you've got one, or if you ever stumble across one, take a closer look. And hey, don't just stop at pennies. There are plenty of other coins out there that could be worth a lot more than you think, and I'll be covering them right here on the channel. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep up with all the latest coin discoveries and tips on how to spot valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with more secrets on how to turn your loose change into serious cash. Thanks for hanging out, and remember, one man's penny is another man's fortune. Happy hunting, everyone!